Welcome to my channel, where I share my AI knowledge and tutorials. In this video, I'll share how to use ComfyUI with AI1 model to upscale any video with extremely high speed and quality by combining multiple fast-gen strategies. Link in the workflow is included in the description. So how is this done? When we look at the WAN basics, we see that there's the 1.3 billion parameter. It's a lower memory and higher speed model, usually used for something simple, but in this case with Upscale, it's a perfect model to use there, so we'll bang on that. Tcache is something that will enable to increase speed. CosVid also will help us with the speed there, with the lower amount of step being used. And simply low denoise will increase speed simply because we don't need that much denoise there in the case of Upscale. So let's look at the really simple workflow that I've shared in the link description. So the workflow here, we can see. So this is the workflow that we're going to be exploring together. This workflow in ComfyUI allows us to do the upscale of video. I mean, this video we see here goes all the way out to here with a way higher resolution, and we're gonna see it as we run it there. But the whole trick into this is really to use the 1.3B version of the model and not the 14B. It's a lower quality version of the model, but it uses way less memory, VRAM there. And with that, it allows us to generate a much longer, higher resolution video while not having too much of an impact on quality, because at the end, we're not trying to generate a whole new video in AI, but really just to take what is currently there and upscale it and just add the small details, the fine-tuned details that allows it to have still the same look and feel while being at a higher quality resolution. So that being said, let's zoom in into this workflow and look at it a bit closer. So let's start from the left top here. We have, like we mentioned, the WAN text to video 1.3B model. So this is not the 14B. This is the whole point of this workflow, to optimize the memory. You have the clip loader, you have the power LoRa here, or basically just a LoRa loader. I tried different LoRa to add on top of just the CosVid there, and it didn't make a big difference. So at the end, I just kept the CosVid there. The CosVid does make a big difference because this LoRa allows it to make sure that we can generate in a very low amount of step there, right? So this is a real boost in speed there. If you look at the whole thing there, it's a 1.3 LoRa and not a 14, because we want to match the 1.3 original model here, right? The core model. If we go down a bit, you have the actual upscale model, because at the end we want to upscale the frame, the image here. So that has to be increased first to then be fed into the one model. So we're using here a upscale model that is the anime model, because we have the anime input there. But if you have a realistic image, a realistic input video, you can use other model for upscale there. So we can see here, if we zoom out a bit, you have the input of the video that goes into a upscale. This is a normal upscale there that goes into a resize image. This resize is really just to make sure that as we get the image from the source video there, that we get the width and height, and we give it a factor of upscale, right? I mean, we need to tell it how much upscaling we want to do. In this case, we want to upscale by 1.5, right? So if we want to even go higher, we could. So with this, is going to feed into the Resize Image. Resize Image here is being used because we want to have a end result of the size that is divisible by 16, right? We want to have a value that is easy to work with there. On the bottom here, we have the VAE that we feed, and then we encode. And this is where the magic happens, right? We encode into the latent, and with the latent here and In fact, I'll just go rapidly on the top here. We also have the one video T-cache. I mean, the T-cache, this is also a way to make the whole generation way faster, right? So again, because we're just upscaling without generating a whole new video there, the difference is not very impactful by having the T-cache regarding the quality. But the speed is a whole different thing, right? So definitely having a T-cache here with a 2.5 ratio, and also make sure that you select the coefficient of 1.3b. Again, we're all following the same core model there. So keep that aligned all together to have the best result. Here you have a skip layer. It's been known in the community that having a skip layer give you a nicer result. I haven't done a lot of tests, but I'm using it still. A shift value of 5, which is rather generic there. And then right below here, we have the positive and negative prompt, right, and conditioning. The impact of this is not that high from what I'm seeing there. That's why I didn't put anything really detailed in the positive. But again, I mean, you can try yourself to see if you see any difference there. For me, I didn't see a huge difference, so that's why I leave it rather generic there. You can see in the color, I left it as gray, right? Nothing much to be changed here. So all that from the positive, negative, from the model itself that we have configured, from the latent image, the image that we're feeding it from the source video. So all that is putting together into the magic of the case sampler, right? I mean, the case sampler here, we'll take the positive, negative, we'll use our model that has the different element from the cos vid that would accelerate things, the T-cache, and also the one model that's going to keep things consistent, right? So all this together with the latent image is going to make something that we actually want, which is a video that is higher quality, higher resolution, while keeping consistency, right? We don't want the image, the video to be flickering there. So that is what the one model is very good at there. And look at here, I mean, the step is only 4 steps. We're only doing this with 4 steps. I mean, that is a very low value. I mean, usually when we want something good, we can look at the 15 step, 20 step there. By having only 4 steps, it accelerates the generation really, really rapidly there. And also keep in mind how the denoise is a very low value, right? Why? Because we don't want to generate a brand new video, right? I mean, we want to take the source video and generate almost the same thing, but give a bit of chance to the AI to add that extra detail that is missing, that by increasing the resolution is generating, it's adding that extra details there so that the result still looks very good. Okay, just a little reminder of what is the denoise dial. So for the denoise, you have a value that you can adjust, right? So that's a value that you want to decide how much denoise you want to do so that the AI can take over and replace or add on to the data there. The more you increase the denoise, the more AI can do, but then the resulting video won't be the same anymore, right? So that's why you have to gauge this there. So for this example, and this is a general example, right? It's not exactly the model that we're using because this is coming from a older video I had there, but the point here is if within the upscaler, let's say I use a denoise of 0.4, right? So most of the information will be coming through, but 40% of it, and again, this is a way to think about it, right? But 40% of it will be replaced or updated with AI, which then gives you the result of something that is higher quality, yet keeping a very similar video generated compared to the original. So you can see here, I mean, it's almost the same, but if you look at the eyes, a bit different, slightly. If you look at the hair there, the hair strand is slightly different, just a bit. And if you look at the handcuff there, right, I mean, it's slightly different also. Because at the end, if you're upscaling and then you're basically creating more space for data, the AI has to come in and fill in that data there to keep it sharp. And it has to kind of guess what it should be, right? and you're giving it 40%. Now in this case, just to give it a point there, I mean, let's denoise at 0.95, right? So basically give AI the almost the full space to regenerate the data there, while keeping just a little bit to keep the the original video still present, right? So here you can see the resulting video of a upscale video generation, but allowing it way more space to work with there. So the resulting video is rather different from the original, yet there's some element that's still there, still being kept. So this is at 95% denoise. So almost everything's denoise. And let's give it another try here with just for fun there. I mean, at 100% denoise. I mean, if we denoise fully everything, what would that be looking like, right? So obviously at a full denoise, nothing comes through, right? I mean, it's totally just basically regenerating the whole video there. So with regenerating a whole video with nothing coming through, well, I mean, some elements such as the prompt and the model and so on could have went through, but you can see here this is a totally different video from the original. But you have to be careful here. I mean, this is using another model there with the 1.3 billion parameter model. I mean, the video might not look as nice, hence the use of the 20% denoise. So that being said, let's run this workflow so that we can see this generation functioning there. So let me put it this way, and then let's run this. So you'll see here from the run that basically everything here is going toward the K sampler. This is where it's going to take the most time, right? It has to take the higher resolution video and make sure that things are being kept consistent there. So let me fast track that a bit there. And there you go. You can see the result is being done. We can do a quick review of the time here. I mean, 74 seconds for the K sampler with 31 seconds for the decode, right? So I think here this is the core of the change there. You can see this is going to affect a lot there by having this cosvid and also the T cache there with a low denoise and using a 1.3b to allow this to happen. Otherwise, I would have run out of memory, right? So we can see here 75 seconds for a 80 frame video there of resolution 640 by 1000, right? So this is a pretty good fast generation, which gives us at the end a resolution of 960 by 1500. Again, a very higher resolution compared to the beginning. And let's look at the actual quality, right? So I'm gonna drag this, let's say, source video right next to the generated video, right? I mean, knowing that resolution is much higher, right? So let's sync this to there, right? So rapidly, it might not be easy to see that it's a much higher quality. Having a bit of bug there. Let me just drag this out. That's gonna help. But if we really zoom in, you can see that the quality here. You can see the lower resolution of the image, right? I mean, it's not the same there. Wow, if you look on the right, I mean, it's much sharper, much nicer. And keep in mind, resolution is different, right? I mean, they're the same size right now, but the real size is probably like, something like this there. If we compare side to side, the size there, right? And the quality, I mean, it's way nicer. All that within 75 seconds there, right? So I think it's a really fast way to increase the video resolution while keeping the good quality. And see how, I mean, the generation, we didn't lose much or any quality at all there. It looks very similar, if not almost identical to the original video, minus, or rather in addition to the higher, sharper resolution there. So let's do the same experience, but let's see if we're not using any of those technique regarding the saving the time there, if that's gonna help us, or rather if that's gonna lower the speed by how much, right? So keep in mind this is about 75 seconds, right? So if we do the exact same workflow, I'm not changing anything, but I'm gonna be disabling the LoRa, no more cost vid. I have to, if we want to have a decent quality video, to bring it up, to bring the step up to 20 there, right? I mean, this is a normal, decent. Some might say I have to go to 30 or even 50 step to have a good video. I'm keeping it simple and 20 step, right? So that's a fair value there, just to compare. And I'm gonna be removing the skip layer plus T-cache there. I mean, they go together, and right now, just for a test, we're gonna also disable the T-cache, right? So all the element that would increase the speed. I'm still gonna be on the 1.3B model because otherwise it won't work, right? The resolution of this video is gonna be too high, and I'm gonna run out of memory. That being said, those are disabled. Let's try this again to run and see the time it takes to run this workflow that does not have these optimized element here, like cosvid and Tcache. Okay, so the generation is done. We can see here on the total time it took for the K sampler, which is 1440 seconds, right? So it's a way bigger amount of time compared to the other generation. Still, let's compare the quality there. I mean, let's see if there's any major difference or big difference that makes the extra time worthwhile. So let me zoom in. Here you go. So it is sharper, obviously, but is it sharper than before? I mean, let me load the other video up and compare, right? I think that's the best way to compare side by side there. Okay, so let's look at this there. I mean, we can barely see any difference. It looks pretty much the same. If there's any difference, it's negligible. If we zoom in a bit closer, still the same there. I mean, there are some difference, but very small. Okay, so let's give it a try for another style of video there. Let's use a more realistic style video. So to do that, I mean, just like right now, we're going to use the exact same workflow, but we're going to be changing things a bit. For example, here we're going to choose another video. And we'll be also changing the upscale model there. This was using the anime style upscale. Now we're just going to use the a more realistic style without the anime style. And with this, the rest should stay exactly the same. I mean, nothing needs to be changed there. I know the source video here is rather low resolution, just to show the difference there. So I'm gonna increase the resolution here a bit so that it'll give a more result that can be seen there. So there you go. We leave that there, and then let's run this. So as we can see here, it went really fast. I mean, for the K sampler, it only took 32 seconds, right? Keep in mind here, I mean, we have a lower resolution video, so obviously it will change a bit the speed of generation there. But still, the point is still there. I mean, let's compare this image or this video from the source to the generated upscale there. So here's the result. You can see on the left, which is the original image, lower resolution, and on the right, the much higher resolution video there. Zooming in, we can clearly see the difference there, where the quality is not the same, thanks to the upscale resolution. Okay, so let's wrap this up with a little bonus section there. on this. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial and video there. Don't forget the workflow, that is a very simplistic one, is linked in the description there. So just go and try it out, and hopefully it's going to be helpful for you to do upscale video in a very simple manner. Thank you very much, and see you again soon.